just got out of service, and you know what's really funny? So it's Friday. I went to work, and check it out. I accidentally wore my Pizza Planet shirt. The uniform's supposed to be black, 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 black all around, and whatever, man. Accidents happen. It sucks. Anyway, it's all right. It was a good service. It wasn't crazy or hectic. It was all right. You know, it wasn't busy, but I was busy, if that makes sense. So we're back at part 2 of our line cook tips and tricks series. If you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and check that out. You don't have to see it to see part 2. So let's just get going. Number 1, practice good time management. So let's just say good time management as far as, say, like prep projects go. A good tip, what I like to do is when I learn a new project, whether it's picking parsley, making mac bays, bacon onion jam, whatever it is that I'm working on, I kind of try to get a good idea of how long that project takes me. And then from there on out, it shouldn't take me more than that time again. I think about things like, what do I need to do before I get this project going? I'll try to get all my meats going. If I'm going to go into the walk-in, I try to think everything that I'll need so I don't have to go back there. So if I'm going to make mac bays, I don't have to go in there for cheese and then go back in there for, you know, milk or whatever it is that I need. Good time management is thinking ahead and knowing what you're going to need before you're at that step. And that takes practice. That sounds kind of crazy. I remember when my chef told me that I needed to understand like 5 steps ahead. It was tricky, and it takes time. And it takes time to find your groove, you know, especially, you know, when you need to know like the bowls that you need, the spoons that you'll need, what you'll need from the walk-in, what you'll need from dry storage, you know, and just to do that in one fluid motion and get it, it takes time. Now, if we're going to transfer time management into the line, that is, it's almost the same thing. Is figure out, so let's say if I have mac and cheese, right? I'm going to grab my pan from upstairs, from above me, right? And then I'm going to see, what do I need from my station? And then I'm going to go and I'm going to start working on it. What I don't want to do is go to my station, put a couple of components onto the plate, put it on the fire, and then turn back around, grab something else when I could have just done it the first time. Don't go around like repeating the same step over and over. Like, number one thing, we all go to the line and we forget what we need from the line. Well, if you write down the list before you go, write it on a 5x5 little piece of parchment paper. You know, write down everything you'll need for the line. And if you're going to what you'll need for the line, let's say you're going to the walk-in and you know you're going to be passing the 6 pans and 9 pans. Do you need to get anything else? Do you need a bowl? Do you need pans? Think about where you're going to go, so you're not going to the walk-in, back to the line, and then, oh, I need a 9 pan, and then go back. I've heard that some chefs actually will count their steps for their shift, and then they'll try to keep it at a minimum. They'll find their average, and they'll try to keep it at the average or lower. And essentially, it counts how many times they're walking. Whether, and look, I mean, it even counts between being on your station and then being on whatever, you know, on saute or plancha. I'm always thinking, what can I do to cut my back and forth time? What can I do to cut from my station to the walk-in time? You know, that's all it is. It's just a game. Number 2, keep your knives sharp. I know this sounds really obvious, but I can't tell you how many times I've taken someone's knife and it's like, it's not sharp. Keeping your knife sharp is right up there with being ready to work. Like, how are you going to show up to work and not have a Sharpie on you? I don't understand. How are you going to show up to work and not have your knives sharpened? And this is assuming you bring your own knives. If you have house knives, still, is there like, do you guys have like a block that you can sharpen your knives with? Some of us use ceramic plates. I don't know if you've seen that trick. We'll turn it over and then we'll sharpen it like that. one of our prep guys just takes another knife and then uses the knife to, you know, hone it, sharpen it, honing it. That's really what he's doing. But it doesn't matter. Look, you need to keep your knife sharp. When I was just at home all the time and then I went back, that was like one of the first things I did. And one of the great things that I love about sharpening knives is that it can be such a meditative experience. You soak this sharpening stone, then, you know, you find the right angle, and then you just go. And look, there's many different ways of sharpening your knives. At this point, I just don't care. I've seen people sharpen it. You gotta, you know, you push hard and you go forward. You push hard, pull back. You go back and forth. You go, you know, you go side to side, up, and like, I've seen it all. At the end of the day, do what works for you. And if you don't know how to sharpen a knife, find a video, have someone help you. There's many ways to sharpen a knife. There's not one way, okay? If there was one way, we'd all be doing it the same way. So don't get too hung up on the details. Learn how to sharpen your knife. Learn what the angle your bevel is, you know? You've heard it before. A sharp knife is a safe knife. Number 3, be patient and slow it down. I can't stress that enough. Let me tell you something. Being fast does not mean being frantic and being crazy and huffing and puffing. To me, fast is smooth. When your motions are smooth, when you know, again, when your time management is on point and you know exactly the specific steps you need from grabbing the saute pan to putting all the components to cooking it. When you know, like, I don't need to do this extra step. I don't need to go here. You just get better at it and better at it and better at it. And it's like any task that you do, you know, just the same, you know, this could almost tie into time management. Slow it down. You're not impressing anybody by putting out quick, sloppy work. And the guys that you see that are going fast, that's experience. I can go into a brand new kitchen. I might just have to see the plate been done once or twice, and then I'll get it. And then my number one focus is just get it right. I'll put the first one out, get it done right. Then the second one, then the third one. Without me realizing it, I'll just be doing it faster and faster. You're gonna get where you need to get. If you're a line cook and you're trying to make it chef, you'll get there. When I started working at that place, I remember I had to know 11 dishes for my station. I knew the 11 dishes, but once a week, I focused on one dish to master. You'll learn the dishes on your station, but for 1 week, just focus on one dish to master. Figure out how can I make it better. Once you've mastered that, try to repeat it over and over and over and over. And once you have that dish out of the way, cool. What's the next one? And then we're just gonna keep it going. It takes time, okay? I can't fathom being in a kitchen where some guy's just breathing down my neck, but I've been in that kind of kitchen. And I'll tell you this is what makes things easier. Nothing you do, you're never going to be right to certain cooks. You're never going to be good. So instead of worrying on trying to impress your chef or trying to like be in the good graces of the other cooks, focus on getting the job done right. Because there's nothing worse than getting grilled to go fast, and then you fall for it. You go fast, put a dish out, and then guess what? Now you're going to get grilled because something was wrong. You put too much in a dish. You didn't put enough in a dish. It looks sloppy. Okay? Speed is going to come with time. Okay? Just chill out. Enjoy the ride. Number 4, holidays and time off. Understand that, yes, in this industry, you're probably going to be working holidays. For you, if you're new and you're not sure, is understand that sacrifices got to be made, you know, but that's a call you're going to have to do on your own. You're going to have to understand how your restaurant works, what the policy is. I know that some places, if you call out on Thanksgiving or Christmas, that's an automatic fire. Are you cool with that? If you're cool with that, cool. If you're not cool with it, start looking somewhere else, you know? If possible, give a month ahead. Give a month's notice, you know? You know that you want to go visit family for Thanksgiving? Cool, let your chef know. I work with someone, and her only priority, the only holiday she gave a shit about was Christmas. She's like, I'll work every holiday, but I'm not coming in on Christmas. And if you want to fire me for it, go ahead. You want to schedule me that day? Go ahead. Christmas is mine. Just be responsible. And to be quite honest, it's very obvious who's taking advantage of it and who's not. So don't stress too much about it. Last but not least, number 5. Find a kitchen that works for you. I'm very happy where I'm at. It's not perfect, but again, I find so much value in working for it for myself, for my peace of mind. I like the environment that we worked to create, not just me, but my coworker. There's so much that if I left, I know I wouldn't be able to get that. And then the types of food that we put out, it's really great creative food, but it's not over the top. You know, and I love the environment that in it. But that didn't come overnight. I had to hop from one restaurant to another. I'd give my 2 weeks notices a few months in. And the more I did that, the more confidence I had in myself. In the beginning, you don't know, especially when you're super new, you're not sure what to do. So sometimes it feels like the restaurant industry is 100% a very kind of like small world. You know, there's so many people that you'll go into a new kitchen and then they'll want to know where you were at. Do you know this person? Oh, I worked with that person 7 years ago here, and I know that. Everyone knows everyone. But it's not like a death sentence if you quit. I used to be very much afraid. I used to think like, man, if I quit and I'm only a few months in, this is not going to look good on my resume. How am I going to explain it? But you know what? It's just not a good fit, and that's okay. Preferably, try to figure that out on your stage. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes everything looks good. Sometimes you're like me where I'm like, I'm going to make this a challenge. It's a little toxic, but you know what? How much can I take? And I did that, and I did that a little longer than I should have. I eventually landed somewhere that was appropriate for me. And my only true criteria to being in the right kitchen is, does this place offer me opportunity to move up? And am I learning? Let me tell you something. The moment I'm not learning anything, the moment it just feels like day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, I'm looking for a new place. Early in your culinary journey, it's okay. Hop, figure out what works for you. And each place will offer something different. Now, let's just say if they didn't have any room for advancement. So then my next question would be like, am I learning something? And if I'm learning something, but there's no room for advancement, I will fucking squeeze every ounce of knowledge I can from that kitchen, and then I'll move on. If there's room for advancement, but I'm not learning anything, I would move on. Because to me, the title doesn't matter as much as the experience and the know-how. That was my part 2, 5 tips and tricks. I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. And I would love it if you shared this with someone that you think will get some value out of it. Stay tuned for part 3 coming up very soon. Have a great service, guys.